And you know what time it is? It's time for KP's Video News. KP's Video News, y'all. KP's Video News, y'all. KP's Video News, y'all. Right.
That's right. It's KP's Video News. And, well, I'm doing this with a heavy heart. And, you know, just thinking about one of my relatives that just passed away this morning. Rest in paradise, Uncle Herm. That's a shout out to Red, Kim, and Tamu. You know, rest in, for your father, rest in peace, rest in paradise, and no more suffering, baby. So my condolences to you and all the rest of my family members at this time. I'm gonna go ahead on with this news, and I know he lived in one of those states that was able to do that voting by ballot. By mail-in ballot. So hopefully he got a chance to get his ballot off before he passed away. Get a chance to get rid of the dishonest Don over there. Anyway, let me get on with these stories here. Get out and vote rally participants in North Carolina say police pepper sprayed them. Okay, folks, I've been saying for the last month that what the police wanted to do was have any kind of reason to lock you up before Election Day and hold you until after Election Day. And I've been stating this now. This is like a peaceful protest where the police just basically, it was a get out and vote rally. And the policeman decided, well, we just going to start pepper spraying people and start arresting people and taking folks to jail. If you're going to go protest, go vote first. Get that out the way. Go vote first. Get that out the way to make sure your vote is going to be counted. And then you go out and protest and do whatever you're going to do. But get that done. You need to get that done first before you decide to go out there and protest. Anyway, the story, peaceful participants at a rally in a small North Carolina city to turn out to vote ahead of Tuesday's presidential election were pepper sprayed by law enforcement officials on Saturday, according to videos broadcast online and witnesses. And the video showed officers firing pepper spray into the crowd in Graham, a city about 1,500, located 40 miles from Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. It's a crucial battleground state in the November 3rd contest between Trump and Biden. And the Graham Police Department said officers took action after participants at a rally failed to obey warnings to disperse. The state's Democratic governor described the incident as unacceptable. Sean Green, a 28-year-old activist who helped organize the protest, along with the Reverend Greg Dumright, a black social justice organizer, said police abruptly ordered to end a peaceful rally which had been due to the end at a polling station. There was no explanation or anything, Green said on a telephone interview. They just started pulling out their guns and grabbing their weapons, and they started pepper spraying people. And Green said he was sprayed in the face and later slammed to the ground before briefly being taken into custody. Graham Police Department in a press release said officers directed pepper spray into the ground after the rally participants failed to follow a command to stop blocking a road. As a result of the action that occurred within the rally on courthouse grounds, the assembly reached a level of conduct that led the rally to be deemed unsafe and unlawful. That was a police statement. And so it's just like, hey, the department said officers used the pepper spray after several people still remain the Burlington Times News stated that one of its reporters was among those pepper sprayed and said they did not hear any warning before the police action. Protester Amy Cooper, 31, said the youngsters and the elderly were among them won the attack. I saw it hit a child, she stated, of the pepper spray. She got it straight in the mouth and she was vomiting everywhere. Dreamer Caldwell, who was a candidate for Alamance County Commissioner, stated that the officers were to blame. The only violence that happened today was from the police, she stated in a statement that she posted. And Governor Roy Cooper said that peaceful demonstrators should be able and allowed to have their voices heard, and voter intimidation in any form cannot be tolerated. So, hey, I said, folks, they're gonna try to do what they got. They're gonna try to do what they can, to stop you from voting. So you go out there protesting, just go ahead and like I said, go ahead and get your vote in first, because you will be going to jail if you're going to go out there protesting today. And people are calling for a boycott of Home Depot. That's right. After his father said he was the founder said he's voting for Trump. And people on social media are calling for a boycott of Home Depot after its co-founder pledged his support for Trump. And Friday, the Home Depot co-founder Bernie Marcus explained why he was supporting Trump for a second term. And Marcus donated $7 million to Trump during the 2016 campaign. And that's the reason why since 2016, I have refused to shop at Home Depot since then. And now he's doing it all over again. And said angry shoppers are once again calling for a boycott of Home Depot after its co-founder announced his support for Trump in the 2020 election. And, and so in the wake of the article that he had, and he took to Twitter to voice people took to Twitter to voice their disapproval, hashtag boycott Home Depot. And Marcus caused a similar uproar, like I said, in July 2019 when he said he planned to donate to the president's 2020 re-election bid in an interview. And following the publication of the interview, the boycott Home Depot hashtag boycott Home Depot was used in tweets to call out Marcus on the donations to Trump. And Marcus, who's reported to be worth $7.4 billion, has donated $7 million to Trump campaign. They didn't say how much he donated this time, but in response to the latest backlash against Home Depot on Twitter, some people vocalized support for Marcus' position. Others criticized the boycott. Notice the backlash was, talking about the backlash. But hey, it is what it is. You go out there and you want to support the devil, you can go right ahead and do that. But that don't mean we got to support you and the devil. That's not going to happen. So there's a situation where you got some some black people across the country, and this is what they're saying. They say they don't trust the government or the police to protect them after the election, so they're taking matters into their own hands. And we are preparing for an extended period of protest that will make the summer look like camp. People have this idea that it's going to be all over after the election, and it's not. Angelique Jackson said she still gets dizzy if she tilts her head in a certain way. It's been a month. She was hit by a large pickup truck that turned into a group of demonstrators protesting Breonna Taylor's killing in Hollywood, California, and revved its engine before knocking her across the hood and onto the concrete and then rolling over her foot. She ended up in the hospital with a fractured skull, painful limp, and cuts all over her body. Now worried that the post-election period will be even more turbulent than what happened that September night, Jackson, a Democrat turned independent voter from Los Angeles County, who has spent the last few months participating regularly in Black Lives Matter protests is acquiring body armor, a helmet, and some type of shield. In this, if not in her political views, Jackson has plenty of company and ideology across the spectrum. As the country lurches toward Election Day, activists, right-wing militants, racial justice organizations, and everyday voters have been preparing themselves for the possibility of widespread and violent civil unrest spurred by a year of historic tumult. They are constructing their own bulletproof vests, stockpiling food, buying guns for the first time, and planning escape routes to save spaces off the grid. Ryan Nichols, a military veteran, and said he no longer trusts that the nation's institutions will be able to keep the peace. What's really happening right now is people want to be able to defend themselves. So it's like, okay, said they don't trust government. I trust people like myself, but I don't trust the government. So this is what they've been trying to do all the time. She worries about right-wing extremists and police officers targeting racial justice protesters, not to mention the militants who often show up to support law enforcement. She and fellow activists are collecting food, water, and toilet paper in case supply chains break down, or black and brown residents are too afraid to go to the store or the hospital. They are amassing first aid kits, respirators, and protective vests. They're hosting trainings on self and community defense and how to spot tactics that law enforcement agents use to infiltrate their groups. And we are preparing for an extended period of protest that will make the summer look like camp. And they, so it's like whichever way the election goes, it doesn't matter which way the election is going to go. Is at this point, it doesn't matter. And that's what these people are saying. These people are saying that it does not matter who wins. After this election, there's going to be some serious crap going on here. And this is a story about how a Republican plan to split a college campus down the middle backfired, and gerrymandering divided North Carolina A&T State University in two. Now united under a single district, students are voting in record numbers. And she didn't know it at the time, but when Jonesy Cobb first set foot on North Carolina A&T State 13,000 person campus as a freshman last fall, the university was split in two. In 2016, the Republican state legislature had drawn a line down the middle of the campus, effectively dividing the nation's largest historically black university into two separate congressional districts. Walking from the library to the dining hall, Cobb would frequently cross the state's 6th district over into the 13th, both represented by white Republicans. Cobb, now sophomore, remembers learning about the districts from students, groups that were organizing calls and protests, and even a visit to Walker and Budd's office in Washington, D.C. However, after a court decision late last year, for the first time since 2012, the university's students will be voting in a general election under the umbrella of the same district. That's right. The kids did what they had to do. So the person that was in the incumbent representative, George Holden, announced that after the 2019 redistricting that he would not seek re-election. So, these seats, North Carolina congressional seats, are likely to flip in favor of Democrats in this election. So Cobb, who was 19 and studying political science, cast her vote on the first day of early voting at a polling station on campus, and the station itself was another fight. Last fall, dozens of A&T students packed the county board of elections meetings to lobby for a voting site at the university, a request that was eventually granted. That's right. These kids are on their job. More than 37,000 people aged 18 through 29 have already voted in the 6th district, nearly twice the tally recorded in 2016. Statewide, of 3.3 million votes cast, 12% have come from Cobb's age group, up more than a point over 2016. So these kids out there doing their thing. When the college kids out there doing it, man, they made sure that they got a chance to take their campus back. The Republicans had split their campus down the middle. Half of the campus, those votes went to an all-white Republican ran district, and the other side went to the Democratic district. Now all of those votes are all going to the Democratic district. That's right, kids. Handle your business. So you got to get out there and vote, folks. This is a serious election. This is voting deadline time. I mean, you got to, at this point, all your votes, well, I can't say about every state, but a lot of states ended early voting Friday. So that meant in a lot of states there was no voting on Saturday and Sunday or today. So therefore, tomorrow, if you were expecting a mail-in ballot and you didn't get it, you're going to have to go out and vote in person tomorrow. Tomorrow's election day. Tomorrow's election day. Tomorrow's election day. We got to get out there in mass, huge numbers. We want to have the biggest turnout that's ever been had in elections in the United States. And we got to do what we got to do to remove the DC dunce. He has got to go. The DC dunce, dishonest Don, has been doing some dirt, and he's done had 4 years of dirt over there, and it's time to reclaim and renew and rebuild this social experiment called the United States. We got to do what we got to do to make it in the image that we want it to be in, not the image that he wants it to be in, because he's trying to take this country all the way back to the Jim Crow era and possibly back to the slavery era if he could. So don't be stupid. Don't be fooled. Don't be listening to Ice Cube and Lil Wayne and all these dumbass rappers out here telling you to vote for Trump. Don't go for that bullshit. Don't fall for the nonsense. Don't fall for it. You got to make a good decision. Think about it. All the hate and all the nonsense and all the stupidity that Trump has done over the last 4 years that's geared toward hating on minorities and getting minorities out there getting killed. It's been at least 12 black people that have been lynched this year alone under Trump's watch, and they haven't done a damn thing about it. Hey man, all the right wing, far right wing militias, man, that's been going out there like they did Biden's campaign the other day in Texas, man. You got over 100 cars out there, cars and trucks, man, surrounding the doggone campaign bus, trying to force it off the road. This kind of stuff right here, man, this stuff has got to go. And as long as you got somebody like Trump in office that's condoning this madness, the country is only going to get worse. So you have no other choice but to get out and vote, and get out there and vote Trump out. He has got to go. He has got to go.
KPVIDEONEWS, y'all.
Rest in peace, Big HERM. Rest in paradise.